You can call me Blitz, and in this video I will be explaining my headcanon for what happened between My Little Pony Generation 4 and Generation 5. It is by no means perfect, since for example I have absolutely no idea on what to do with Discord, so I ended up just ignoring him completely. And I also don't really consider G5 as canon for G4, so technically it all happens before the very last episode, the last problem. It starts about 1 year after Twilight has been left in charge of ruling Equestria. Everything is fine, everything is dandy. The previous princesses Celestia and Luna are off on a trip out of Equus entirely. Equus being continent of Equestria. And out of nowhere, a purple alicorn named Opaline just shows up and goes like, hey, I'm an alicorn, you're an alicorn, maybe we could like rule Equestria together. She tells it to Twilight, and Twilight goes like, haha, no, but like I'll let you help me out. With that, a few more years pass, and the relationships of Equestria and the dragons starts deteriorating, and no one really knows why. So Twilight ends up deciding to send Spike to the Dragonlands so that he can know what is going on. Spike is a dragon, so it shouldn't be that hard for them to talk. And so Spike goes to the Dragonlands. He takes a few days probably to get there because it's a faraway place. That's important because things happen in between. He gets there, talks a little bit to everyone, and then discovers that apparently there has been a purple alicorn with white mane that has been stealing the dragon's magic. Once he realizes that that's Opaline, he instantly starts going back to Canterlot so that he can warn Twilight. But while that's happening, Twilight already got attacked by Opaline while she was alone, and she was trapped in the caves beneath the castle, beneath Canterlot Castle, the same place where she was trapped back in season 2. Not only is she trapped down there, Opaline also cast a magic barrier around her. That since Opaline is a fire alicorn, Twilight isn't strong enough to break the barrier alone. And then, as soon as every pony realizes that Twilight is gone, Opaline steps up and says like, hey, if you put me in charge, I can help you find Twilight again. Since she has gained their trust for the past few years that she has spent helping Twilight to rule Equestria, everyone accepts that. However, as soon as she gets to power, she starts blaming the other races, especially the changelings. Every other race except for the dragons, since she still technically needs to be with good relations with them so that she can go in there and get more of their magic. And before Spike gets to Canterlot, he discovers that Twilight is missing, and he puts one and one together and goes like, well, change of plans. And he goes instead to warn the rest of the main six of what's going on. After a bit of searching, they end up finding Twilight and freeing her, because all of them together are stronger than when they're separate. But not before Opaline is able to make everyone afraid of a possible changeling Twilight that is only there to seize the power for the changelings. Now with the main six reunited, they go into the Canterlot Castle to try and defeat Opaline, with them having to hide from the guards so that they don't warn Opaline about it. However, Opaline actually already knew that Twilight had escaped because she noticed that her magical barrier had been broken. And so, knowing that the main six were more powerful together, she managed to get them separated and defeated, on quotes, defeated every single one of them while they were separated. I say on quotes because they end up being able to escape by the end of it. And so once they reunite, they realize that just trying to go in there by themselves and beat her isn't going to work. They need more help. So they go into the School of Friendship mainly to try and get Starlight. But once they get there and explain what's happening, the Tree of Harmony in its Twilight projection state shows up and says like, hey, I can help fix this. I know of a way to make a magical artifact that will not only reset the dragon's magic, but it will also serve as a funnel for the magic to go through before it can go anywhere else. However, the dragons will have to hibernate for a little bit because it not only resets the magic, but it also slightly changes it so that it's proper for it to go through the artifact. And so everyone just goes like, alright, sounds good, but we'll just have to check with the dragons if that's okay with them. So they go to the Dragonlands, check with them. The dragons go like, yeah, sure, as long as it gets rid of our opaline problem. But once they get back, they discover that Canterlot is falling apart because Opaline has become powerful enough to steal other ponies' magic. And so they go back to the Tree of Harmony and ask like, hey, can you help fix this as well? And the tree basically says like, well, yeah, but instead of one artifact, it'll have to be three, one for each pony kind, and you won't have to hibernate. And everyone ends up agreeing that that's the best move. So once Twilight finishes making the dragon's artifact, she gives it to Spike and basically tells him, hey, you're gonna end up hibernating anyways, so just go give the artifact to the dragons while I work on the pony artifacts. Once Spike gets to the Dragonlands, Amber is there to meet him and says like, you were the one that essentially made me Dragon Lord in the first place. So even if it is just for a small amount of time, I want you to be the Dragon Lord while you're with us. And that actually about wraps it up for my headcanon. Twilight finishes the artifact, Opaline goes back into hiding. If you're wondering why none of the neighboring nations went there to help with Opaline, it's because Opaline had absolutely destroyed whatever trust they had in them, and they didn't really know what was going on inside of Equestria anyways. So once they got the news that Equestria was imploding, they just went like, oh, good. Which is also my explanation to why no other race appears in G5. That's it for my headcanon, but there are still a few things about the channel mainly that I would like to touch on still in this video. First of all, it's just a little fun fact that originally the name of the video was going to be Dear Hasbro, I fixed the My Little Pony G4 to G5 timeline as a reference to MatPat's Dear Nintendo, I fixed the Legend of Zelda timeline. But since it is just my headcanon and honestly, at least in my opinion, barely a theory, I felt like it would be a little bit too clickbaity to name it that. But I still want to mention it as my sort of tribute to MatPat. The other main thing is that I'm going to be taking much longer to post new videos. Originally, I thought it was only going to be, I was going to take longer to post the main videos, as in the ones where my OC Blazing Rush plays games, but I realized as now I'm making this video and it's taking me 10 days instead of what I thought was going to be the 2 days, that even if I want to do lower quality videos that I can just post more consistently, I use lower quality not as in, oh hey, they're bad videos, but it's not as well edited as the mainline videos. I also am sorry if the video is confusing. I did not make a script for this. However, as I previously said, it is already taking me 10 days. and the videos that I consider to be more important, I cannot edit that video while I'm working on this one. So unless I wanted to stay even more time without posting any videos, this is the best that I'll be able to do for this video. Anyways, this has been Blitz, and I'll see you next time.